Hey, what's going on? It's Camille Aiko. I hope that you are living the life that you love spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. We are on episode number 10 of Protect Your Vibe. Episode 10 is also the last episode of this series that we're going to do. So, as you guys are coming on, make sure you drop a 1 below to let me know if you are watching this live, and drop a 2 below if you are catching this on replay. So drop those ones for me. Let me know if you're going to stay on here and interact and engage. So yeah, give me some likes, give me some hearts. Let me know that while I'm talking, if it makes sense. Don't let me feel like I'm on here by myself. Hey Jessica, what's going on, love? So again, as you guys are coming on, drop those ones below if you are watching this on live. Drop the 2 below if you are catching this on replay. Number 10 and the last episode for Protect Your Vibe. So we've talked about, your vibe, your vibration. That is your energy. It is the energy that you give off. And the reason why you want to protect your vibe is because energy is everything. How high you are vibrating, how high your energy frequency is, also determines how high you're going to go in your life, because your low vibrations bring you low. They make you mad, they make you depressed, they make you angry. You're operating in those emotions that are very dangerous, right? But when you are vibrating in a high place, then you are hopeful, you have vision, you have mentally provoked minds, and it's causing you to go higher in your life. And that's what you want. And that's why it's important for you to protect your vibe, because we know bad things happen. We know everybody is not going to be on the same positive wavelength, right? But with that doesn't mean we just allow anybody to come in and influence us. So as we talked about last night, you have to be very careful of who you allow to come in and influence you, because it does matter. Even if it's just a little bit here and a little bit there, as people come in and they influence you, those little actions over time is going to have you wondering where you are, right? So that's why you have to make sure you protect your vibe. You have to make sure that you keep it on the up and up. And I'm not saying that you're not going to have down moments, that you're not going to have days where people just absolutely irk you, but you have to have strategies in place on how to overcome that, so that you can get back to being at a place where that you can function at your very best. So as you guys are coming on, before we go ahead and jump in to tonight's topic, make sure you drop a 1 below if you're catching this live, and drop a 2 below if you're catching this on replay. Hey Stanley, hey Cornell, what's going on? What's going on? Okay, so now tonight's topic, hey, what's going on, Wilbert? Is ignore any opinions that don't enhance your life. Ignore any opinions that don't enhance your lives. Now, when I'm saying this, guys, this does not mean that every opinion that enhances your life you're actually going to like, okay? This means that the opinions that you get from people are going to help you elevate. They're going to help you level up. They're going to help you move to a higher point in your life. And sometimes the truth hurts, right? Sometimes people are going to say things to you that hit you the wrong way initially, because you may not understand where they're coming from. You may not understand their point of view right away, but it could be actually very good constructive criticism that you need to take your life from here to here. And you have to understand the people that you're dealing with. You have to understand where they're coming from. You have to understand their intentions in order for you to really receive that. So when we're talking about this, keep that in mind, that when I'm saying the only pay attention to the opinions of people who want to enhance your life, I'm not talking about those yes people who, anytime you turn around, it's just like, yes, whatever you want to do, you just do that because that's great and that's what you want to do. No, because everything that you want to do may not be enhancing your life, all right? And we want to enhance it. We don't want to be in a situation where you are busted, disgusted, down, and lonely, depressed, and all that. That's not what we want. So if you're in that place, then you haven't been protecting your vibe, right? Okay, so the other thing I want you guys to keep in mind is that when we're thinking about the opinions of others, it's very natural for us to think about, what do others think about me? We constantly want the approval of other people. We desire to change, and we want to improve. We want to be accepted by our peers, our family, right? And so we're constantly wondering, you know, what do they think? What do they think? I think it is important for us to really compartmentalize those opinions that people may have, because to be honest, yeah, you do, right? You do want people to accept you. If you're going on a job interview, you want to impress the people that you're interviewing for. Their opinion does matter, because it's the difference between you having a job or not having a job, getting a raise or not getting a raise, right? Most people want to be in some type of relationship. And so what those people think of you, it matters. However, we can't focus so much on what other people think about us versus making sure that we become the best us. Because when we become the best version of you, you know, the best version of yourself, then what begins to happen is that you will attract the people that you need in your life, and they will give you the opinions that you need to enhance your life. But we're so busy out here trying to gain the approval of anybody and everybody, and allowing all of their unrelatable, just irrelevant opinions and thoughts to then be influential to us, and that's not what we want, right? So here's some reasons why we're not paying attention to the opinions of people, especially if their opinions don't enhance our lives, okay? And as you guys are coming on, make sure you drop those ones below so I can know who was on here. And drop a 2 below if you are catching this on replay, okay? So number 1, the reason why we're going to ignore the opinions of others if they're not enhancing our lives. And that is, people will always find somebody to talk about, all right? And so if it's not you, it's going to be somebody else. People always have something to say, and it doesn't matter if you're doing good. It doesn't matter if you're doing bad. I mean, just look out there. Especially, you know, you can look at some of these celebrities, right? That people are always going to have something to say. But if they begin to focus so much on what the fans say or what their critics are saying, they wouldn't move forward, because it's so easy to look at something and be like, oh my gosh, they don't like me. I'm not approved. They aren't accepting me. And so now I'm just not going to be my great me anymore, right? And that's what happens to a lot of us, is that we start paying attention to all of these other side comments. You know, there could be times where I'm looking at lives and looking at comments, and I'm like, why did they even say that? Like, and it could irritate me for a split second. But then I'm like, you know what? It doesn't even matter, because here I am doing what I know that I need to do, what I feel like I'm being led to do. And so that's what I have to do. And so we can't, you know, be so concerned with what people are saying, because people are always going to find someone or something to talk about. And those people who always find someone or something to talk about are typically doing it because they don't have enough going on in their life. They have no life. They are looking for purpose because they haven't found theirs. In fact, they're probably not even looking for purpose, because that's why they're so concerned about talking about somebody else. All right. People who I know who are really focused on moving forward, who are really vibrating at a higher level, they don't spend their time talking about other people. All right. So now, number 2, your self-worth isn't defined by your approval rating. Okay. There are going to be people who, you know, absolutely don't approve of you. They may not like you. They may not like the way your hair is. They may not like the way you smile, right? But what they think of you doesn't matter. That is not what gives you your worth. Their opinion of you is not what gives you your worth. Okay? So when God designed you, when he put you here with value. He put you here with worth. And that's who you need to be looking to. Stop looking to all these other people and society standards of what you should or should not be to help you say, okay, well, am I worthy? Am I valued because of what other people are putting on you? All right. You know, if you're single or you don't have any kids, like people look at me all the time. Well, when are you gonna get married? When you gonna have? Oh, you don't have kids? Like, no, I don't. But I don't feel devalued because I don't, right? And there are some people, though, that will make you feel devalued based on your marital status, the type of job that you have, the money that you make on your job, right? People will try and create your value around that, but you are more than that. You are so much more than that. And so that is something to keep in mind, that your self-worth is not defined by other people's approval rating of your job, of your marital status, of the color of your skin, of the way your hair looks, of the car that you drive. None of that defines your self-worth. And this is why we're not listening to the opinions of people who don't enhance our lives. Number 3, y'all couldn't see all 3 of my fingers, so let me move it to the screen. All right, 3, they don't know your journey, where you've been or where you're heading, right? People can say a whole lot of stuff about you, but they don't know your life, right? There's this movie called Baby Mama. There's this line in there. I'm like completely sidetracking now, but well, actually no, because the line works. What happened there? The woman is like trying to judge her because, all right, Baby Mama, this woman, she's like this high top executive, right? And this executive she's having a surrogate, all right? And so she's having the surrogate mother carry her baby, or she thinks it's her baby, but nonetheless, the high exec is like really judging this girl because of some of the food choices and things that she's made. And I don't remember the exact scene, but the bottom line is this: the surrogate mother got mad. She was like, you don't know my life, right? Like, in other words, like, stop judging me for the actions and the things that I'm doing, because you don't understand what I've been through. You don't understand how I've gotten here. Like, who are you to be judging my life based off of the facts that you don't have? And this is how sometimes we have to take the approach and just be like, you know what, I can't even listen to the opinions that you have because you don't know my life. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know the journey that I'm on. You don't know what the purpose that God has placed me here for. So unless you know all of that, unless you know all of the steps of my journey, then be quiet, right? And sometimes, though, we can't even tell people that. So that's why we have to ignore. This is why we have to be okay with self. This is why we have to spend time alone, because we can get drowned in the opinions of others, and then our vibration is no longer vibrating at a high frequency. We are down in the low frequency level where we're feeling all of the negative and dangerous emotions. Okay, number 4 on why we are not paying attention to the opinions of people who do not enhance our lives is that we need to be able to trust our intuition and know who you are deep down inside. Trust your intuition and know who you are deep down inside. There might be things that you want to do in your life, or that you have been called to, that other people may not understand. But guess what? You have to trust yourself enough. You have to trust God enough to know that who you really are isn't what everybody else is saying. In fact, there was this girl, I'm in this travel Facebook group, and she was just talking about how she thought that she wanted to be a teacher in Italy, I think it was, or Greece, wherever it was, right? And the bottom line is this: she's like, I got over there, it's not what I thought it would be, and I started traveling the world, and everybody was like telling me that I'm crazy. She's like, but I'm living the life that I love. I have found a way to be able to make income as I'm traveling, and I'm going to be traveling the world for the next 5 years and just enjoying my life while being able to make money this way. And not everybody understands what I'm doing, but I've got to do what I'm doing. And so that is someone who is trusting their intuition. That is someone who knows who they are inside. And everybody is not going to get you. Everybody is not going to get your journey. But you have to know within you have to know within yourself that you are executing and you are carrying out the plan that God has for you. And you trust that plan, and you don't let go, and you don't allow other people to talk down about you, but you stay focused. And see, this is another reason why you can't pay attention to those opinions of people, because if you're not focused, you will easily be thrown off track. And then 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, you're going to be saying, well, I should have done this. I could have done this. I would have done this. And then you're going to be in the victim role, blaming other people for why you haven't accomplished the things that you wanted to accomplish, right? Because you've paid attention to all these opinions of what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing, right? So if it's not enhancing your life, if it's not constructive criticism, and let me even say this, that sometimes we do have people who want to give us advice that is enhancing, but it may not be enhancing for you. So this is also why point number 4 is so important, about trusting your intuition and knowing who you are deep down inside, because some people will try and cast their life and the life that they have lived on you, and it may not be for you, right? So there's a story that I like to tell. It's about this woman who, she was cooking turkeys, and she'd always cut the turkey in half, and so it would take it a longer time because she's had to cook 2 halves of a turkey. So her husband asked her one day and was like, honey, why do you do it this way? Like, why don't you put it in the same time? And she said, well, my mother, this is how she's always done it. Like, she cut the turkey, and so growing up, that's how I learned to do it. So that's how I do it now. And so she said, but I'm gonna call my mother and ask her. And she said, honey, I did that because the oven was too small. So that was the only way that I could cook it, right? She couldn't fit the whole turkey in at the same time in the pan and all of that. And so sometimes, the opinions of others is based off of things that no longer in effect. Now, that mother might say you cook the turkey in half because, your oven may not be too big, but now we have bigger ovens. So that opinion is no longer relevant. It is irrelevant. Sometimes we are listening to people who want to enhance our life, but they have irrelevant opinions. And this is why you have to be in tune and in touch with who you are, where you are going, and what you want to do. And the way you do that is by protecting your vibe and really getting to know yourself. All right, so that's enough on that point. Number 5, you will never please everyone with your decisions, so don't try. Flat out. You're not always going to please everybody. But, you know what your principles are. You know what your values are. You know what your morals are. And that's what you have to stick to. And that's what you have to be true to. Because when you aren't true to those things, that's when you start having guilt, shame, doubt, and you start questioning who you are, because now you're confused. And a person who is confused is they're unstable in all of their ways, right? So one day they're doing this, the next day they're doing something else, and they don't find any contentment because they don't even know. They're just wavering. It's like the windstorm comes, and then you're like here, and then you're here. You have no footing. And so you're not feeling fulfilled. You're not living the life that you love because you're not really living. You're just being tossed about. That's not the life that you want, right? Okay, so number 6, what's good for someone else may not be good for you. And we already really kind of hit on that, when I was talking about the story with the mother, is that it was good for the mother to do halves, because the half turkey, cook it half and half, because she was able to get the turkey cooked, right? However, hey Brian, what's going on? And you guys, make sure you're dropping a 1, if you're catching anything from this live, and drop a 2 if you're watching this on replay. But it was good for her. She actually got the turkey cooked. The family was able to eat, right? That was good for them. But now it's like, now you don't have to do double time on the turkey if you cook it all at once, and you have the technology and the heat to make it happen, right? And so what is good for someone else may not be good for you, right? What's good for someone else may not be good for you. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I like to be able to work from home. I like to be able to have time freedom. I like to be able to make my own decisions. But some people need others to tell them when to wake up, when to go to work, how much money they can make. Like, there's some people who need that structure. Whereas I'm more of a free spirit about that. And I'm just kind of like, you know what? I made the decision, like, I cannot go in and clock in another day. I will not be told when I can and cannot go on vacation, do missions, or anything else, right? So for me, listening to people, especially when I first started out my entrepreneurial journey of, why don't you go get a real job? Why don't you go do this? And why don't you go do that? Like, I would have been crazy to listen to them, because you know what? I would be miserable, okay? Like, absolutely miserable. I was already miserable. I was driving to work every day, and at this point I was a 50-minute commute, and I had a good position, right? I had just been promoted. I was the youngest one in the organization, management position. Things were going good. You know, upper management thought that like this was going to be something long term that I was going to do. So they were really shocked when I put in my 2 weeks. But the truth of the matter is that even though I was on a good track and even though I was working for a good company, I was not happy. I was not fulfilled. I was just not having it, right? So some people who are like, get a job and this is your way of work and this is how you need to be, listening to that advice is not good for me. But for some people, that is what you need. You need that structure. You need to clock in. You need to know every week. And that's not even a for sure thing, but that's a topic for a different day, right? But you need to know that every Friday you're going to get a certain amount of money on that paycheck. And that's perfectly fine for you, right? And so that's why we can't always listen to the opinions of others, because what is good for one may not be good for you. And we can't be so quick to just so blindly listen to what everybody has to say. Okay, please pray for me and my family. Absolutely. All right. Okay, so that's pretty much my time, guys. Of this episode of Protect Your Vibe, and making sure that you ignore any opinions that don't enhance your life. So if you got any value from this, just let me know that you were here, number one. You can do that by dropping the actual number one in the comments to let me know, hey, I at least listen. Drop a 2 in the comments if you're catching this on replay. And then, of course, hit that share button, that love button, that like button, any of those things, just to let me know that you took something away from this. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this 10-part series on Protect Your Vibe. So be on the lookout for some upcoming things I'll be doing. I hope that you guys will tune in and that we can learn and grow and increase our vibe together. I will talk to you guys later. I'm Camille Aiko, and I hope that you are living the life that you love, spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. Good night.